I also condemn it because the stakeholders were not involved at the beginning. I think some people have forgotten where they have come from, and they are in their comfort zones coming up with things that discriminate or divide Kenya more. Because if somebody truly remembers that even some of us had to sit under a tree or on a stone or a log, and up to date there are other schools in the rural areas that still use desks that are very uncomfortable for any student to sit on, trying to concentrate and get what the teacher is saying. Some people think we are already 100 years from when we got our independence, so they copy or try to catch up with the developed nations, but without remembering that Kenya still does not have infrastructure. Some of these homeworks that the teachers send the pupils to go back home, the parents are needed to participate. Some of the parents in the rural areas never even completed class 8 or even hardly completed that kind of level that the new curriculum is. So how can you send a child to go home to be helped by a parent who cannot even read English or pronounce some words properly or even understand English? Most parents who can't afford tuition from the private tutors, they are left to just let go or tell the child to sleep and go back to school like that. Also, the curriculum itself lacks a lot because a lot of resources. I had said that, but I wanted to emphasize more. Most teachers who are frustrated because it's more pragmatic than theory, the way we used to cram. Those who cannot afford even themselves their own basic needs at home, they are taking advantage of this curriculum and exploiting some parents who can manage to afford. So you'll find if maybe they were to do a practical to do with fish, why should every child carry a fish in class? And then most of the fish the teacher preserves and then only uses one or two in their practicals. So I think it is one way of also not really being, sorry, somebody's confusing me, but he's right. Yeah, the teachers will eat the fish, yes, but I'm trying to say we need to be logistically right, politically right, economically right, and socially right when coming up with some of these things that we are trying to impound in people's lifestyle. Some of us are still walking. The stretch is too long to reach where everybody else is. Can we wait for others by coming up with things that work for all Kenyans, whether rich or poor, especially education, which is supposed to be like how we force these children to put on uniform. You can't tell who is poor or who is rich. So education should also be like that. All the poor, all the rich to get exactly the same so that we can get a doctor from either family, because we will need to equalize or levelize the ground for these children. Thank you.
Member for Nandi Hills.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I want to appreciate the mover of this motion for bringing it for us to be able to discuss this matter that I had a lot of concerns indeed, because from the onset, CBC had problems in itself from 2017, as someone had insinuated. In fact, the cabinet secretary at the time probably even lost her job because of questioning some of the implementation of that program. And later on, it was pushed down the throats of all Kenyans that this program has to run. The program is very expensive. That is no brainer. The reality is what is required for children when they are going to school, the pupils, and what they are being demanded to be brought to school in itself compared to 844, which was more structured and organized, has thrown many parents into poverty rather than helping us, that the government is able to provide primary education that is very affordable. Looking at it, the confusion that has come all through was even made worse by what Honorable Peter Kaluma has captured the other day when the junior secondary school students were